Hello everybody, I'm Alexis de Soave, lawyer at the Brussels Bar and counsel at the International Criminal Court. I'm also vice president of the FIDH, the International Federation for Human Rights. Today we speak about the access to health and to medical care of the prisoners. Even that is denied by the Israeli authorities. They have no respect for the prisoners. They don't treat them like they should treat them. You cannot do what you want when somebody is in jail. There are minimum standards, rules, convention, and a country that pretends to be the only democracy in the Middle East cannot say that and on the other hand completely not respect the international standards of human rights and the convention they have signed. We have the Convention on Torture. We have prohibiting every form of torture and preventing somebody to have medical aid when he needs it, when he's seriously ill, is a form of torture. The Fourth Geneva Convention of 1949 that protects civilians in war times is not respected, is violated by Israel. We can even speak, we don't speak very often about that, but there is the resolution of the General Assembly of the United Nations of 17th December 2015 about the minimum standards for prisoners in the world. How did we call that at the time at the United Nations? The Mandela rules of detention. Nelson Mandela, just behind me. Israel does not respect that. And it must be a claim of the international community to say we don't accept these massive violations of international law and human rights. The Palestinian prisoners must be considered as political prisoners. There are no security prisoners like Israel tried to pretend to the rest of the world. And they must have access to medical care, and they must even be liberated to be able to go to the hospital to have medical care, because they cannot be condemned to die in prison because they don't receive the medical care they need. And this is a tremendous responsibility on the Israeli authorities that disqualify them in the concert of nations internationally, and our countries in the West, especially in Europe, where I come from, must push that on the agenda, especially at the European Union. When the European Union do trade agreements with the Israeli government to say no, because there is no respect of the elementary human rights, there is no respect, look at the prisoners, the ill prisoners that die from their illness in the prisons. Together, we must mobilize all the forces, the human rights forces, the lawyers, the international human rights organizations, for this goal, to force the Israeli government to respect international law and to make an end to the impunity. Only that will be a beginning of a solution for the Palestinian people that suffers, and especially for the Palestinian prisoners today in prison, and among them the ones that need urgent medical care. And I'm in solidarity with them. Thank you. Shukran.